Dear students, welcome to this digital lecture series. The topic of today's discussion is quantum mechanics, and in that we are going to see the wave particle duality. So we all know that light is a wave, and there are certain phenomena associated with the light like interference, diffraction, polarization, reflection, etc., which could be explained only on the basis of wave theory of light. Now, in the wave theory of light, light is considered to be an electromagnetic radiation having electric and magnetic fields perpendicular to each other, and the light beam, it exhibits a wave-like properties. But we have also seen that certain phenomena associated with the light, like the black body radiation spectrum, the photoelectric effect, the Compton effect, the scattering processes, etc., they cannot be explained on the basis of wave theory of light. Now, these phenomena could be explained only by assuming that light consists of a large number of particles called photons, and if nu is the frequency of the light, then the energy of each photon particle is given by E is equal to h nu, and its momentum will be P is equal to h upon lambda. Now here the particle nature of the light is taken into consideration to explain all these phenomena. So what do we observe? That in certain phenomena the light exhibits wave-like nature, while in certain other phenomena the light exhibits particle nature. Thus, the light exhibits wave nature and sometimes it exhibits particle nature. This is called the wave particle duality of the light. So, if light exhibits wave nature in certain phenomena and it exhibits particle nature in certain other phenomena, then we can conclude that the light exhibits dual nature, particle nature as well as the wave nature. And remember that light is a wave and it exhibits particle nature. So this dual nature of light, in 1924, it led the French physicist Louis de Broglie to propose a thought that if light can exhibit a dual nature, sometimes it acts as a wave, sometimes it acts as a particle, then its reverse should also be true. That is, a beam of material particle should also exhibit a wave-like nature. See that light is a wave, it exhibits particle nature. So the reverse of this, that a beam of material particle should also exhibit a wave nature, this was proposed by Louis de Broglie in 1924. And he proposed a hypothesis. According to the de Broglie hypothesis, a beam of material particles like electron, proton, neutron, atoms, etc. have a wave associated with it. These waves are called the matter waves or de Broglie waves. and the wavelength, since the beam of material particle exhibits a wave-like nature. It has a wave associated with it. So certain parameters associated with the wave, that is wavelength, frequency, etc., this should also be present for the de Broglie waves. So according to de Broglie, the wavelength associated with these de Broglie waves of the material particle is given by lambda is equal to h upon p. This is our equation 1. This equation is also called the de Broglie equation. Now here lambda is the de Broglie wavelength associated with the beam of material particles. P is the momentum of the particle and h, as we all know, is the Planck's constant. Now let's see whether we can prove that the wavelength associated with the matter waves or the de Broglie waves is lambda is equal to h upon p. So if we consider a light of frequency nu and wavelength lambda, then the energy of photons which are present in that light beam is given by E is equal to h nu, where h is the Planck's constant, nu is the frequency of the light. Now light is considered to be made up of large number of particles called photons, and suppose that if m is the mass of each photon and velocity of light we know is c, so the photons can be considered to be moving with a velocity c. Then according to the Einstein's mass energy relation, the energy of each photon, it will be E is equal to mc square. This is our equation 3. Now observe carefully. Equation 2 and equation 3 both give the energy of a photon. But what is the difference? In equation 2, the energy is E is equal to h nu, and nu means the frequency of the light. Here we have taken into consideration the wave-like behavior of the light. While in equation 3, energy E is equal to mc square, where m is the mass of the particle, that is the photon, and here we have considered the particle nature of the light. But both equation and 2 give the energy of the same photon, therefore they should be same. So equating equation 2 and 3, and if we make the necessary rearrangement, see here h is equal to h nu is equal to mc square. If you rearrange the terms, then we obtain this equation h is equal to p into wavelength lambda, because frequency into wavelength is equal to speed of light, so c divided by nu is equal to lambda, and mass into velocity, this is equal to the momentum of the photon. So therefore we are able to derive the equation lambda is equal to h upon p, which is our de Broglie equation. Now the de Broglie wavelength lambda in terms of kinetic energy. If a particle of mass m is moving with a velocity v, then kinetic energy, as we all know, is given by half mv square. So kinetic energy, if we make certain rearrangement of the terms, multiply and divide by m here, then we get kinetic energy is equal to P square divided by twice M. How did we get this P square? This V square into M square. M into V is momentum. So M square into V square is P square. So kinetic energy is also given by P square divided by twice M. So from this we can imply the momentum is equal to under root of twice M into kinetic energy. We all know the de Broglie equation. If we put lambda is equal to h upon P and we put the value of P, then we get lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice M into kinetic energy. That is our equation 5. Equation 5 gives the de Broglie wavelength associated with a beam of particle in terms of kinetic energy. Now, if a charged particle is accelerated due to an applied voltage potential field. If a charged particle of charge Q is accelerated due to an applied potential voltage V, then the energy of the charged particle will be its kinetic energy. Now observe that if a charged particle is in the field due to a applied potential V, then energy of the particle is Q into the applied potential V. And this energy is its kinetic energy, is equivalent to its kinetic energy that it has acquired. So, the energy due to applied potential is equal to kinetic energy. Now here there are two V. The capital V represents the applied voltage, while small v, it is the velocity of the particle. Now from equation 6, we can write that the velocity of the particle V is equal to under root of twice Q capital V, this is capital V, divided by M. And from the de Broglie wavelength equation, we get lambda is equal to h upon P, where momentum is equal to mass into velocity. And if we substitute this value of velocity, we get lambda, the de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h divided by under root of twice M Q into V, capital V. Here M is the mass of particle, Q is the charge of the charged particle, and V is the applied voltage. So equation 7 gives the de Broglie wavelength associated with an accelerated charged particle due to applied potential capital V. The de Broglie wavelength associated with an electron. Suppose that an electron is moving in a field due to applied potential capital V. And we assume that the charge of electron is small e. So we can substitute charge Q is equal to charge of electrons small e. Then the de Broglie wavelength in this case comes out to be lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice M E into capital V. That is given by equation 8. Now we all know, see the different constants which are involved here. Here h is the Planck's constant. It has value 6.62 into 10 raised to the power minus 34 joule second. Charge of electron E is equal to 1.6 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. And mass of electron is 9.1 10 raised to the power minus 31 kg. If we substitute these values in equation 8 and make the necessary calculation, we get a simple relation that lambda is equal to 12.27 divided by under root of capital V angstrom. Equation 9 directly gives us the de Broglie wavelength associated with an electron which is moving in a field due to applied potential capital V, that is applied voltage capital V. Now, the de Broglie wavelength associated with a particle in thermal equilibrium, temperature T, capital T. Suppose that a system is in thermal equilibrium at temperature capital T. Then the thermal equilibrium kinetic energy of the particle, it will be given by 3 by 2 into kT, where k is the Boltzmann constant and its value is 1.38, 10 raised to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. And if we substitute it in the de Broglie equation, that lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice m into kinetic energy of the particle. So instead of this kinetic energy, put the value 3 by 2 kT. So if you put this value here and solve, we get the de Broglie wavelength for a particle in thermal equilibrium at temperature T. It is h upon under root of 3m into kT. This is our equation 10. So, the wave particle duality, it simply shows that a beam of material particle should also, or it will also exhibit a wave like nature. A wave, that is a light wave, it exhibits wave characteristics, it exhibits the particle like behavior in certain phenomena. Exactly opposite to this, a beam of material particles will also exhibit wave like nature, and in that case the wavelength associated with such a particle or a beam of particle, it will be given by lambda is equal to h upon p, and that wavelength is called the de Broglie wavelength. So that's all about the wave particle duality. Have a nice day.